Okay, got my Simplicity Conquest 20H44. It's 44-inch mower, 20 horsepower, 2004. I'm going to be replacing the drive belt, which is this guy. It's my first significant work on this guy, so we'll see how it goes. Following the manual, but I figured I'd go ahead and get a video for posterity's sake and anybody else that might be doing work like this. First things were to remove the mower deck. So lower the mower to the lowest possible setting. Lower the attachment handle all the way down, all the way forward. And then undo the two chains here. I actually already undid it. I'm going to put on a little headlamp here. It'll be useful. These were hooked on here. I had to pull this down a little bit. Easy enough. And then to unhook the chain, I had to pull up with one hand on the mower attachment and unhook with the other hand. It was pretty simple to do. And then we'll see what goes from there. Oh, also had to unhook the, this is the PTO belt here. Easy enough just by pushing on the idler pulley here. You can pull on it here to loosen that belt up and unhook it off of this is the PTO pulley right here. Okay, next step to unhook, easy enough, on the front of the mower. Just pull ahead on this lever right here. Spring loaded, it's got a spring, and unhook it from right here. Like this. It's now detached. The mower attachment. And then last step, turn the wheels left, pull the mower attachment out on the right side. Okay, I want to show this, where this belt goes. Starting from the back, it goes around this pulley here. There's a fan on top of it. I think it should be easy enough to go over that fan. Comes up here, and then there's a couple pulleys that help guide it and maybe provide some tension. Both of which have little tabs here. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to sneak it by there. I might have to take those pulleys off. And then it goes up through here, underneath this linkage here, the steering linkage, I believe that is. So I might have to take that off. And then around this pulley here, which also has a tab over here, right there. Right there. So we'll see what the instructions say, or see. I actually haven't been able to find instructions online, so I'm having to kind of wing this. But interestingly, this guy is turned sideways here, which might explain why it hasn't been working very well. Although I think it's also stretched out. So we'll see. Either way, I'm going to replace it. Alright, going to show a bunch more here. So this is the PTO clutch. This whole thing going up is the crankshaft, and there's the crankshaft bolt. I'm going to take that off. By the way, even though I didn't find instructions for the Conquest online, I did find the instructions for the Broadmoor online for replacing the drive belt, and I have those printed out. And it seems to be the same. It matches the pictures almost completely. So we're going to take this off, undo the steering linkage. This is a ball joint here with a bolt on it. These are the idler pulley assembly. I'm going to show a lot of the details here just in case, just to make sure everything can go back together correctly again. There's a spring here that goes around this little bar here that comes out up there, and then the other end Looks like it's almost tied with a zip tie or something here. I think it's hooked there somehow. Then there's also this much larger spring that's hooked right in there, hooked around this side of that to my right, and then it goes back here and hooks around right there. If I can get this right here, darn it, hooks around that way there. And then this says that I have to disconnect the brake assembly here thing, although I'm not really sure why. I would think I'd be able to pull it back through here, but we'll see. See how it goes. I'm going to get some pictures here too, just to have to make sure I know how everything goes back together. Okay, next thing was to disconnect this PTO clutch plug. Turns out it was a bit of a pain. It's got a little tab here that goes, kind of a standard thing here, that tucks underneath that tab. And I could pry that up with a screwdriver, no problem. Don't pry it too hard, it might break. Pulling it out was a bit of a pain because it had been stuck in there 14 years, but it came out okay. Then had to break this bolt loose. It turns on its own, so you got to hold this this outer thing here. I'll take off vice grip. This guy right here, you got to hold it in place and then break this. I broke it with a long socket, half-inch socket thing. It's a 5/8 inch, and it breaks off, or it goes standard counterclockwise. Take the bolt out. I'm sure there's a much better tool than vice grips to hold this in place. I didn't have one, so I cheated. So I'm going to take this bolt out. Looks like it's coming down already, and take out the clutch. Okay, now after taking the clutch off, see why I had to take that off, because I got to slide this pulley down so that the belt will go beyond these two tabs here. There's one on each side, so I can slide that down like so. Off of there. Try to be careful not to get dirt in there. So this guy is loose now. On to the rest. One thing of note is that this pulley, the bigger side, is on the bottom. Okay, next thing was disconnect the steering arm. Had to hold the top part here with a wrench and undo the bottom nut under here with a 9/16. Slip the belt around it, no problem. Next thing is loosen up the idler pulleys right there, so I can slip this guy by. Okay, loosened up the idler pulleys. Those you don't have to take off. They're both 9/16. You can leave them in place, and the belt will slip around them. And then I think it should slip right off over around this fan here. Yep. And there we have it. One thing with this, it had a split in it actually somewhere. Where'd it go? Right here. So that's definitely not good. Not really sure how that might have happened, but didn't help any. So comparing the old and the new size-wise, they seem to be about the same. The old one may be a little bit longer by about 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Hard to tell. So we'll see what happens when I put the new one in. Okay, and then put the PTO clutch back on. was a bit of a pain. There was a key that fell out and had to put it back in. The tapered side, I believe, is on the bottom. Put this back on, and making sure that this tab sticks down through the notch on this one side to hold this in place from rotating. And then I got to tighten this 40 to 50 foot-pounds of torque. And then reattach the electrical thing here on the other side. And of course, what I didn't show before that was redoing everything I'd undone before. Put the belt around the fan, which actually it slipped off, but I can put it back on. It's loose enough. And then tighten up the idler pulleys. Reattach the steering arm